Okay, we are starting on Colors of the Wind. We just went through and numbered all of our measures, so make sure that you've done that. Shh. And then we're just about to get started learning parts. Here we go. Sit up nice and tall. Remember our posture on the risers. Here we go. 1 and 2. I think most of you are familiar with this, yes?
No.
Stop that. Do not lean on that rail. If you do not lean on the rail. If you can't do what you're supposed to, then you'll have to move down a step. So if you'll just scoot forward a little bit on your step, a little more. That'll help. Here we go. Ready? 1 and 2 and sing. Big breath. Good. Do that much again. Do that much again. Ready? 1 and 2 and breathe. Sing this for me. Has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Sing that part. Has a life. Ready? Has a life, has a spirit, has a name. That name is a lot lower than you expect, so make sure that you're going from head voice to what? Chest voice. Has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Now this is, hey, don't talk. This is a skill that you have to get really good at when you're doing pop music, is switching registers all the time. And you have to start learning about your voice and where you are going to personally need to switch registers so that you can most effectively sing notes. This is the most challenging part of pop singing, especially for people that are sopranos, because there is very little pop music that's actually written for sopranos. There's very little pop music that's actually written for baritone basses. Almost all pop music for guys, it's tenors singing those, super high voiced tenors. Okay, and so I always think it's so funny how boys, how the girls go crazy over all these boy singers and guys don't think that singing is manly. Like girls love a guy that can sing, okay? And most famous singers are tenors, okay? That's just the way it is. So anyway, we gotta get really, really good at switching from our head voice down to our chest voice all the time, and especially for those of us like me that are sopranos. Hey, Quincy, please don't talk over me. Especially for those of us like me that are sopranos, those register changes are like essential to making the music sound good. So whenever I'm pointing those out, if you could make some kind of note to yourself, maybe square means you're going to sing it in your chest voice and circle means you're going to sing it in your head voice or something like that. I would get some kind of shorthand developed for yourself to know, okay, this is going to be chest voice, this is going to be head voice, to help you as you go through to learn where those register changes are. So let's start it. Has a life. I'm sorry. Right now you're still a soprano. Most 7th grade boys are still sopranos. Okay, so here we go. Has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Go ahead and draw a square around name to remind you that's definitely going to be in your chest voice. Quincy, write that square around name. We're on the 2nd page of Colors of the Wind.
You're on measure.
I know.
You know, well, you weren't on. You're still not on the right page. Come on, babe.
Why am I square?
How am I supposed to find the one or not?
Find the word name in measure 12 and put a square.
Who's all
Okay?
this?
Has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Here we go. Sit up tall, ready, and sing. Now we're going to skip down to the alto line because that's where the melody jumps to. So we're all going to sing the alto line. Here we go. Ready, and. Now we skip back up to the soprano line because that's where the melody is. Keep going. Quincy, I want you following along in your music. We're now on page 5, so I need you to turn the page. Okay? But if you walk, ready? Here we go. pages and stuff, okay? That'll make it easier for you. Here we go. 1, and 2, and sing. Skip down to the altos. Big breath. Excellent job. Now let's go on. Here we go. Have you ever heard the wolf cry? Ready and go. Have you ever heard the wolf cry? Let's look at that rhythm. It's a little tricky, right? So that rhythm right there is, or ask the grinning bobcat, or ask the grinning bobcat. Do that for me. Ready and go. Or ask the grinning bobcat, I'm he grin. One more time. Or ask the grinning bobcat, I'm he grin. That's it. So start right there. Or ask, ready and sing. Keep going. Sorry. Keep going. Now, have you figured out that pop music has difficult rhythms in it? Okay?
Yes.
Lots of tricky rhythms. So we've got several sets of 16th notes, and we also have, remember yesterday, I think it was, we were going through and circling all those dotted eighth notes in our music for When You Believe. We've got lots of them right here, don't we? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? So circle that for me. Measure 25, circle that dotted eighth note, okay? Can you sing with all the voices? All the voices. Did you circle it, Matthew? Dotted eighth note, measure 25. On the word all, circle that dotted eighth note in 25.
2 on 27.
Very good. And then in measure 27, excellent job, Leah, we have on the word colors, the second half of colors is a dotted eighth note.
There's 129.
And then on the word of, there's another one right after it in measure 27.
And there's
And then
29.
Excellent. And then in measure 29, the second half of colors again, in measure 29, the second half of colors. So circle all those for me, okay? So on 27, we have colors of the wind. We have it in inversion, right? 16 followed by dotted 8, and then 8 dotted 8 followed by 16. So it's colors of the wind. Do that for me. Go. Colors of the wind. Now look at measure 29. It's colors of the wind. Go. Colors of the wind. So make sure that those are differentiated. Okay, make sure that the first one is colors of the wind, and the second one is colors of the wind. You hear the difference there? Okay? So right there, pick up to 27. Can you paint with all the colors? Ready and go. Big breath. Excellent job, excellent job. Now, I want to turn back to the beginning. I want to go that far. Everybody stand up.
So, measure 1 to measure 30. Measure 1 to measure
1 and 2 and breathe. All right, here we go. Look at measure 7.
Wait.
Measure 7, I'll make a man out of you.
I'll bet.
Let's see.
So, this is what I want you to look at. I want you to look at that treble clef on the tenor line. Right, see that treble clef?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you notice that's different about that treble clef?
Really dropped an octave lower.
There's no dotted four notes.
Here's my treble clef. What do you see on the bottom of the hook?
There's an 8.
It's an 8.
There's an 8 down there, like this. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
This 8 right here tells me that I am going to play that line an octave lower than it's written on the staff. Okay? So, as I play the piano, if I didn't play it an octave down, it would be up here. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. But they tell me to play it down an octave, so it's going to be down here in the tenor range. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Sorry. Now, the reason that we do that is because the tenor line is, if it's notated in the treble clef, which it is about half the time the tenor line is notated in treble clef, about half the time it's notated in the bass clef, so tenors have to be very versed in both clefs, okay? But the tenors are always the tenor line, if it's written in treble clef, it's always gonna have this 8 below it to show the tenors, okay, yeah, you're singing this line, but you're gonna pitch it an octave lower than it's written on the staff. Now, why would they not just write it an octave lower on the treble staff? Why would they do that?
Because it would be too low of a staff.
It would be too low and you would run out of staff, and you wouldn't be able to write it. You'd have all these ledger lines all over the place. So this is just a little trick where they can write all the notes on the staff and just tell the tenors, but you're gonna sing it an octave lower than it's written on the staff. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so this looks like it's really high where it's written on the staff, but it's not, because it's the tenor line. So we're singing it an octave below what's written. So sing that much with me again. Let's get down